My friends at Easy Cater are workplace catering pros, helping you find food for everything from daily employee meals to staff meetings and special events. Visit easycater.com/leaderassistant to find out more.
Hi, my name is Rajiv Ryan, and diamonds are not made overnight.
The Leader Assistant podcast exists to encourage and challenge assistants to become confident, game-changing leader assistants.
The Leader Assistant podcast is brought to you by Goody. If you're starting to think about holiday gifts for your team like I am, Goody is a game changer. They have amazing gifts that people will really love, including brands that give back to charitable causes. As a longtime executive assistant, I've always been nervous about holiday gifting season. But thankfully, Goody's platform lets you send one gift or hundreds at the same time without ever worrying about shipping details. Can I get an amen? With Goody, your gift recipients provide all their shipping info, and they can even swap out your gift for another option if they prefer. It's free to start gifting, and you can get a $20 credit when you sign up. Oh, and if you mention you heard about Goody from the Leader Assistant podcast, Goody will add an extra $10 credit to your account. Go to leaderassistant.com/goody to start gifting today. Hey friends, welcome to the Leader Assistant podcast. It's episode 196. You can check out the show notes at leaderassistant.com/196. Today, I have the privilege of speaking with Rajiv Ryan. Rajiv is an admin at Google, and we're going to talk a little bit about his story and his career. Rajiv, thanks for joining me.
Thanks, Jeremy, for having me on this show.
What part of the world are you in?
So I live out of a city named Bangalore, which is at the south of India.
Awesome. And have you been there for your whole life, or what's kind of your story with where you're from and where you grew up?
So I was born and raised in a city named Chennai, which is also at the south of India. And I did my schooling there. I did my college over there as well. My roots are from this city, which is named Pondicherry, which was a French colony as well. And in 2013 June, as soon as I had completed my education, I moved to Bangalore looking for work. It's probably a 6-hour drive from Chennai to Bangalore if you head down by car or by a bus. So that's where I'm from.
Awesome. Well, I know it's definitely a little bit of a time zone difference from where I'm at in Kansas City, Missouri. So I appreciate you being flexible and hopping on the show. So tell us a little bit about personally, what are your hobbies? Do you have, any pets, cats, dogs, etc.? Tell us a little bit about yourself.
Sure. So coming to my hobbies, one of the things which I do consistently, at least I try to do 4 times a week, is hit the gym. So that is one of the hobbies. And I do enjoy playing sports. So the 2 sports which I play a lot are cricket, which is India's version of baseball. And the other sport which I do play is basketball. Apart from sports, I also play music. So I play piano and guitar. And my wife and myself, we enjoy baking and cooking together as well. So that's how I spend my free time.
Awesome. Love it. How long have you been playing guitar?
Probably since I was 14 or 15 years old.
Okay. Nice. Yeah, I taught myself when I was 17, 16, I think. Haven't played ever since I had kids. I didn't play as much. But I definitely enjoy it here and there. Well, so tell us about your professional journey. You were looking at your LinkedIn. You were a tech headhunter and recruiter for eight and a half years. Tell us about how you got into that world.
So fun fact is, by educational qualifications, I'm actually an electronics and instrumentations engineer. But I got into it not knowing what it was about. And during my time at university, I wanted to do something which was not hands-on coding, which was not hands-on tech, which wasn't your typical engineer kind of a role. And I was trying to figure out what I could do with that, right? I kind of realized that one of my strengths right from university or even school was my ability to network, my ability to organize events, my ability to make new connections. So where I was thinking was from either I get into something which is like sales, marketing, or and while I was doing that research, recruiting is a very thin line between selling and HR. And so that's how I joined an agency and moved to Bangalore and started my career as a recruiter. Enjoyed it thoroughly. Like it's what made me who I am today as well. Yeah, so really good 8 years.
So you recently made a change though, and became an admin at Google. What was the push? And did you work with assistants during your recruiting career? Did you kind of see it from a distance and think, oh, maybe that'd be fun? How did you get into, going from a long, successful career in recruiting to I want to be an admin?
Well, yes, I did work with a lot of amazing admins during my journey as a recruiter in all of the companies which I worked in, right? So I worked totally in 4 companies in my career. And I must say, like a lot of the admins did help me a lot when I was a recruiter in terms of getting, let's say, the exec or the leader on a call with a potential candidate to help sell the role, to help talk more about why they should be taking the role up, giving more clarity on the project, and all of these things. So that is something which I've seen. And I've also even while I was in the recruiting world, I did partner with a lot of admins on a lot of events, a lot of community building, and so on and so forth. So, and I kind of had a lot of friends as well who were working in the role. So they used to, when we used to talk, they used to tell me about the impact, the kind of things they do, like how they spend their day, kind of projects they worked on. And that seemed pretty interesting to me. And another thing is what I've learned is what you see on paper is there's a lot more which actually happens in reality than what is on paper. And I got to learn that from all of my friends who are currently in this role. So after looking at it from an overall perspective, and the impact and how you can contribute, that's how I decided to take up this role.
So did you have any challenges getting people to take you seriously when you applied for a role that you've never done before?
Not really, to be honest. Because what at least my philosophy and what I've seen is there are a lot of roles which have overlapped with each other, and as long as your fundamentals are strong and your core skills are strong, I feel that you should be able to pick up the other skills which are needed for the job pretty easy. So I didn't have. I'm lucky enough to say that I didn't have that pushback or that kind of.
Nice. So the skills you learned in your recruiting career transferred over very well.
Yes, because there's a lot of things like dealing with ambiguity, which is there in both the worlds, the recruiter world as well as the admin world. Creativity is certainly a very important factor in both of the worlds. Working with a large set of people in different time zones was again a part of both of the recruiting world and the admin world. So I was able to leverage that.
That's great, Rajiv. Thanks for sharing. So you're coming up on almost 11 or 12 months of your admin career. What's your favorite part about it so far?
there are multiple favorite parts of it. Like it would be very difficult for me to choose something on the spot, but like if I have to like summarize it to one of the favorite aspects is you get to like very similar to the recruiting world where you get to see the result of your work. Like in the recruiting world, the effort you put in results in a great candidate joining your organization and doing well and enjoying work and scaling up their career. Like you get to see the same kind of output over here. So I would say I enjoy the fact that when your leaders tell you that this is a priority for me and I need these things to get done, and you help them achieve it in your in whatever way you use to help them achieve it. That's something which I enjoy, right? Because like that's how we win as a team as well.
Yeah, so that commonality of seeing others succeed and helping others win from your recruiting days and then now your admin months, then it's definitely something that you enjoy. That's awesome.
Yep.
Well, what's something you do to actually, well, I'll rewind a bit. What's been the hardest thing about shifting from the recruiting world to the admin assistant world?
So I would say the hardest thing is like, so there is a saying in the recruiting world, like once a recruiter, always a recruiter at heart. So sometimes you need to realize that you're not playing that role anymore. And, like it's great to help out and help out other recruiters and all of that stuff. But you also need to realize that your job is more to help out from an admin perspective. So I think the hardest thing from my perspective was, making like that transition from, because I've been doing this for 8 years and then moving into this role. So just, getting that into like, oh, okay, I'm not doing this anymore and I'm doing this. That was kind of hard. And I'll give you an example for this, right? An example for this is in any company, the most common relationship between a recruiter and an admin is scheduling a call with the leader to talk to the candidate about the project. So in this case, I've been on both sides. I started as a recruiter, and now I help other recruiters get on a call, right? So like things like like each recruiter has a different way of functioning, and each recruiter is unique. So I would say like not like avoiding the temptation of stepping in and trying to be a recruiting consultant at that time, giving your set of advice to the recruiter on, oh, maybe you should have done this or maybe you should have done that. Stepping away from that was hard initially.
Yeah, that's interesting. So what do you see for your next, 2 to 4 years? Are you all in on the admin assistant world? What are you thinking?
So I'm definitely all in on the admin world. It's something which is pretty interesting to me. But then again, like what I've looked at as the way the world involves and technology involves, I'm definitely open to whatever comes my way. But if your question is like, do you see yourself in the admin world for the next 2 to 4 years? I would say, why not? Like, it's a role with growth, and there is a lot of scope if if you're unique and if you try a lot of new things.
So give us a little bit of tips on, there's a lot of assistants listening who are either jobless or they have a job, but they're looking for a better one. And they're in the interview process. They're reaching out to recruiters. They're getting LinkedIn messages from recruiters. They're getting ghosted by recruiters. What's maybe 1 or 2 tips for assistants, just based on your experience as a recruiter and being in that world and knowing how that game is played, if you will, What's maybe one or two tips you could share with listeners who are really trying to connect with recruiters and get some momentum and traction on their job hunt?
So another thing which I would like to call out is recruiters, you can associate them with, I'm going to associate them and give an analogy with doctors, right? So when you look at doctors, like doctors specialize in maybe like you have doctors who specialize in pediatrics, you have doctors who specialize in gastro, you have doctors who specialize who are neurologists, you have doctors who are surgeons. So you have categories of doctors, right? So it's very similar to recruiters as well. Like when I was a recruiter, like I can say that I spent at least 5 or 5.5 years of my career only doing software engineering hiring for companies, right? So I would say the first thing is you need to reach out to the right person, because most often or not, the intent to help someone find a role is there, but you may not have the right context or the right connections or the right processes to know what to do next. So I would say, like, if you're an admin and looking for a new role, you would need to first connect with a recruiter who is hiring admins, like hiring with a recruiter who was, let's say, doing tech hiring or finance hiring. I mean, they may be able to send your profile to someone else as well, but that's again a longer route, and the chances of and the probability or chances of that happening is less. So I would say, firstly, if connect with the right recruiter. Second thing is, like, if you are looking to engage with somebody on LinkedIn, most folks use the LinkedIn app on their mobile versus the laptop. So, like, if you minimize it to maybe 3 to 5 lines, or even ideally 3 lines, of why you would like to connect and how you can add value, and be very specific, and you know be unique in your message. When I say be unique in your message, like, call out a point about your profile, call out a point about the recruiter's profile, and like, just show the other person that you've done your homework. It actually goes a long way, and it's worked wonders for me personally, like, whenever I was looking for a new project or so. And the third thing is, like, yeah, like, this is also one of my favorite sayings, is that never put all of your eggs in one basket. It's a very famous saying, which I've learned, which means that, like, you never celebrate until everything is final and written in stone. And yeah, like, don't narrow down something only to one project or one opportunity. So I mean, keep your options open, and something is bound to click. And the last thing I would say is, good things do take time. Like, if you ask me, like, like, that there have been times where it's taken maybe 5 months or 6 months to land a good opportunity, but that opportunity was certainly worth it. So, and again, like, if you keep, like, another tip I would say is, networking really helps, because there's so much we can learn from each other, irrespective of profession, right? So I always tell a lot of people this, that apart from the HR world or the admin world, I've learned so much from engineers. Like, I've actually learned a lot of personal finance from my engineering friends, with respect to how do you invest in stocks, or how do how do you handle your tax planning, these kind of things. So these would be my 5 points to any assistant who is looking for the next role.
Wow, those are great tips, Rajiv. Thanks for sharing. Definitely, I can see people taking notes as they're listening. That's some great tips from your experience as a recruiter. Well, Rajiv, thank you so much for reaching out and taking a risk and being courageous and being on the show. What's to kind of wrap things up? What's one thing that you would like to say to assistants listening today, after now you've been in the role for several months and you're excited about it, and as we've discussed, it's a career shift for you. What's one thing you'd like to tell the assistants of the world?
I would say that you need to have as much as fun as you can while at work. So this is what I followed, like right since I started working, right? The more fun you have at work and the more you enjoy your work, the better the output is going to be, and the more happier you're going to be. Um, and the second point is, like, especially in our world, there is a lot of ambiguity and there are going to be ups and downs. So on your highs, celebrate your highs, enjoy it, but don't let it get to your head. And during your lows as well, like, learn to embrace it, and like, know that what goes down has to go up as well. So you will have these. You will, like, Monday will be an amazing day, Tuesday will be a bad day, Wednesday will be a bad day, Thursday will again be a bad day, and Friday will be a really amazing day. So I mean, this is just a random pattern which I came out. So you have these cycles, and uh, in the long run, like, you would make it, and you would definitely win. So don't let, like, if you have a bad day, personally, my what I, honestly what I do is I kind of just like, so I'm a fan of Arabian food and burgers as well. So I would just order a burger or shawarma and uh, just chill out. So that would be my advice.
Nice. So, I liked your point about having fun at work. What's one way that you try to abide by that? How do you have fun at work?
So I come up with a lot of a lot of a lot of tech fun, lot of jokes, related to engineering or related to technology or related to anything. Like, I joke with my peers and with my execs and with a lot of people who I work with. The second thing is, using themes. You can we just had Halloween, right? So I mean, like, do something, have a Halloween week, or keep the spirit alive using that. And yeah, the third thing, what I would say is, the way to have fun is, like, if you can actually pre-plan it, like, so, like, assuming, like, what I did for this podcast is, like, I actually sat up last night and thought that, okay, I would do this podcast, and after that I would have this done and that done. When you have stuff pre-planned, it's a lot easier to have fun at work.
Yeah. Well said. Well, I would love to end the episode with, you are fluent in a couple of different languages, and I would love for you, if you're up for it, I'm going to put you on the spot. I would love for you to say a little something, maybe something like, thanks for listening to the podcast, or best of luck to you in your assistant career, or something like that, in one of the languages, one of the non-English languages. Would you be up for that?
Sure. So I can do that in Tamil and I can do that in French. So I'm going to go with Tamil first and then French.
Okay.
Yeah. So this is just like, got it. So you just want me to, like, say a couple of lines or so, right? Like, conclude.
Yeah. Yeah. Whatever you want. Just tell us what you said afterwards.
Got it. Got it. எல்லாருக்கும் வணக்கம். இந்த பாட்காஸ்ட் வந்து சேர்றதுக்கு மிக நன்றி. எல்லா அசிஸ்டன்ட்டுக்கும் வாழ்த்துக்கள். நிறைய இருக்கு சாதிக்கிற லைஃப்ல, அண்ட் இந்த ரோல் வந்து நம்மள டெஃபினட்டா மேல கொண்டு போவோம். I'm next going to do French. Bonjour à tout le monde. Et ce rôle est très génial. Il y a beaucoup d'opportunités ici. Et toujours, on peut augmenter avec ce rôle. Et il y a beaucoup de personnes qu'on peut vérifier aussi. Et je souhaite tous les admins une bonne chance avec leur carrière. Merci. So, I mean, it was pretty generic what I said. I just said that this role is really nice and you can have a lot of impact. Please do have fun, and all the very best to you.
Wow, that's amazing. Very impressive. Thank you, Rajiv, for doing that. That's fun. I know there are definitely assistants listening that will probably be able to understand that. So yeah, that was kind of a fun little way to end. I appreciate you being on the show, and definitely stay in touch. And I'll put your LinkedIn, if you're up for people reaching out and saying hi, I'll put your LinkedIn and your Instagram and your Twitter links in the show notes at leaderassistant.com/196, leaderassistant.com/196 if you'd like to reach out and say hi to Rajiv and connect offline. So yeah, thanks again. And we really appreciate you taking time to be on the show.
Thanks for the opportunity, Jeremy, for having me. I'm really honored to be on your show. And yeah, I had a great time in chatting with you and looking forward to more.
Please review on Apple Podcasts. GoBulls.com